Good evening. Welcome to Bizworld. The Malaysian economy will start to ease next year after an exceptional run in 2022 as external demand for the country's manufactured goods had weakened, mainly due to the slowing Chinese economy. Nonetheless, export trade with Southeast Asian economies, as well as the US and the European Union, remains robust. Malaysia also tends to benefit from trade right diversion from China as firms reroute their supply chains into alternate locations. This trend will insulate Malaysia from the weakness of Chinese demand for Malaysian exports. Malaysia housed major semiconductor chip producers, and manufacturing growth in China had previously been shored up by the global chip shortage. The Malaysian oil palm industry sees this year's bright performance may continue into 2023, supported by stronger demand for the commodity. The Malaysian Palm Oil Board, MPOB, noted the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict has disrupted the sunflower oil supply chain globally, causing a surge in the demand for palm oil as a replacement for sunflower oil. The rising prices of soybean oil and Brent crude oil in the world market are also contributing factors that may impact the performance of palm oil. As such, the firm expects the price of crude palm oil to average at 5,100 ringgit a tonne this year, 15.7% higher compared to 4,407 ringgit in 2021. CPO prices saw a decline at the beginning of the third quarter of this year due to high production season, rising palm oil stocks and declining soybean oil prices. CGS-CIMB Securities forecasts Malaysia's inflation for 2023 to be at 3% year-on-year compared to the 2022 forecast Consumer Price Index CPI inflation of 3.3%. The government's intervention on matters such as chicken prices, petrol and toll fees would continue to partly contain inflation in the near term. However, the recent electricity price hike for non-domestic and non-small and medium enterprises, SMEs, low-voltage users, which will take effect on January 2023, may lead to some increase in headline inflation. The firm's calculation highlights a possibility of the CPI rising by 10 basis points year-on-year in January 2023. This as roughly 60% of electricity users in the country are non-domestic users, and of these, 60% are non-SMEs. Economists expect more overnight policy rate OPR hikes to combat inflationary pressures in 2023, with CGS-CIMB expecting two more 25 basis point increases to 3.25% from 2.75% currently. November's strong core inflation growth reflects strong domestic demand conditions during the month. Moody's Analytics also expects Bank Negara to continue to hike its policy rate into early next year. Inflation pressures will begin to moderate next year as supply-side pressures ease. Bank Negara reiterated its hawkish stance in its November meeting, noting that it will preemptively manage the risk of excessive demand on price pressures. Skyrocketed energy price, protracted Russia-Ukraine war, and prolonged global supply chain disruptions do not augur well for Malaysia's seaport operators. However, Kenanga Research said it sees a bright spot in the logistics sector locally, driven by domestic demand and backed by a mega trend of growth in domestic e-commerce. The firm remains cautious on seaport operators in general, buffeted by a weak outlook for global trade. The World Trade Organization in October cut its 2023 global trade growth projection to a meager 1%, from 3.4% projected 6 months ago. This is against a backdrop of a recession in Europe that is almost a foregone conclusion, given the protracted Russia-Ukraine war leading to an energy crisis. And that's a wrap for Bizworld. I'm Raymond. Thank you for investing your time with us, and stay tuned to TV3.